Good evening, everybody. I would like to call to order the June 28th, 2023 regular meeting of the Monee Village Board of Trustees. If I can please ask Pastor Joe DeCenzo to come up for the invocation.
I'm here to just quickly report in on the Monee Alliance of Churches Kids Camp. I am alive, and so are all of our volunteers. We have almost 90 kids registered, and so it's a labor of love this week, as well as what's happening at New Hope in the evening. So between all of the churches, we have the kids covered all day and all night. So keep those folks in prayer. The kids are having a blast. So Heavenly Father, we come before you right now, Lord, and we ask, Lord God, that you would be here tonight. Spirit, we just ask that you would guide and lead us. We pray that we wouldn't see in 3 dimensions, but in 4 today. Lord, we pray for that 4th dimension to be discernment. Lord, we pray that we would be able to discern between what's good and what's better, what's healthy and unhealthy. Lord, between right and wrong, between just having health and flourishing happen in the community. And so, Lord, we give you this meeting. We give these decisions, all of the awards and the things that are going to be given out tonight. Lord, we thank you for the achievement. We thank you for the hard work that's been put in. And Lord, we know that you bless the work of our hands when we bring it before you. And so we do that right now. We pray this all in Jesus' name. Amen.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Gonzalez.
Present.
Trustee Horn.
Here.
Trustee Henson.
Present.
Trustee Rakes.
Present.
Trustee Wilson.
Present.
Trustee Udris.
Present.
Open to the public, agenda items only. Moving on to the consent agenda, can I please have a motion to accept?
Make that motion, Mayor. Second.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Horn. Yes. Trustee Henson.
Yes.
Trustee Rakes.
Yes.
Trustee Wilson.
Yes.
Trustee Udris.
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez.
Yes. And moving on to the clerk's report.
Thank you, Mayor Bogues. I just want to, tell on June 10th, the Monee Historical Society had a event where Maurice Brown came and he gave background and everything on Juneteenth. It was a really great event to be a part of and to hear the feedback from those that were there. That was really great and welcoming. Also, reporting on our Juneteenth event, I am thankful, of course, for the residents that came out to learn and hear and understand what Juneteenth was all about. Thank you, of course, to Reverend Hunt for giving the background and the meaning of Juneteenth. And then also Kevin, the supervisor with Parks and Recs, and the team for emceeing the event and the things that they put together. I'm also thankful that the event was moved from behind the village to the larger area to the side, which was really great. And after reaching out to participate with planning and being overlooked and ignored, I wanted to just say that I am excited and looking forward to participate in the jubilant event and planning for the celebration next year. Myself, of course, and it'd be nice to have a committee to be able to help plan with it. It was a start, and of course, I always appreciate the opportunity to be able to have our residents come out together to celebrate with one another and have a good time. End of report.
Thank you. Okay, moving on to my report. First, under my report is the presentation of the Ralph Phelan Award. This is given through the Monee Chamber of Commerce. So I would like to invite Lee Boswell up from the chamber to present the award.
Hello? Okay, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Excuse me for a second, I get this thing out here. Good evening. I want to thank you for letting me come in today from the chamber to do our annual Ralph Phelan Award. And we've been doing it, I've been doing it for 22 years and that, and It's an achievement for a citizen in the town that gets repetition for leadership and volunteerism and everything. So, and what we do, we've done this for the last 20 years too. We give out, I gotta read this. We give out this little fella. It's been known for 20 years. It's in Numchuck is a stone monument designed in the image of humans. Today, as a symbol to us on our dependence on each other and the value of strong relationships. Our purpose of this statue is for distinguished service to the community of Monee. The Monee Chamber of Commerce awards this monument every year. This year, Connie is the citizen. Connie is our Ralph Phelan Award winner. And Connie is a citizen of our community for 19 years, a mother, a grandmother, and she is married to Vietnam veteran L. Wojtowski. Here are some passages written by people who've known Brody to support her to win her award. She is often the first person to raise hand to serve our community, whether it is for seniors, village events, veterans, and Monee veterans at home. Connie goes above and beyond her dedication to the auxiliary by picking up, purchasing, and delivering the donations for our veterans program. She is the key communicator between the auxiliary and the veterans home in Manteno. She coordinates all the Christmas gifts for the veterans at home. In the Monee Women's Club, she is very active in the pajama program in support of ladies and their children at local shelters. She is a role model for all of us and is genuinely a dedicated and loving individual who would help anyone. Okay. Connie, can you come up here, please? Okay. Okay. Should we point like this way and then turn? Okay. I want to give you this award for you winning the Ralph Phelan Award for your outstanding what you do for the people. That's why one of the reasons you got nominated, because she's behind the scenes person, and nobody probably don't even know her, but I got to know her about 6 months ago, filling bags for the veterans and that stuff. But on that, I really appreciate you take that. And do you want to say something?
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
I just like to.
Picture taker is in here. I would like to.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, you can do that way? Okay, go ahead. Okay, good.
Thank you. I'd just like to thank the Chamber. I didn't know about this award, and when they told me about it, I was very surprised and very honored. After I retired from working, I joined the Women's Club and participated in various community activities and our fundraising for the scholarships. Then when we were able to get enough people to form an auxiliary for the Legion, that's where my heart is, with the veterans, and I'm honored to be able to do things that help the veterans. So thank the Chamber, thank the auxiliary for letting me do these things, and a big thank you to my loving, supportive, much beleaguered husband, Alan Vitovich. I love you, babe. Thank you.
Okay, I'll put it right here. Well, stay up here. I got one more thing to say. I've got. There you go. I'll bring it to you. But I want
Can you go take a picture of you guys up here, okay?
Go ahead. While they're taking pictures, I wanted to make things. I just want to make one announcement. July 8th, we have Kids Day coming up. The Chamber's participating in, and we're bringing in the mascot for the Joyous Clambers. You get free pictures with the kids between 10:30 and 11:30. He may stay longer and stuff. So you tell your kids you're going to come out and get pizza for free and that stuff. So, and we'll have some goodies, some baseball stuff. Because after that, she's got to go home and relax and get her arm all warmed up because she's throwing the first pitch out at the Joliet Jackhammers game. So, in honor, we always do it every year. We always do it every year.
Okay, come on.
I want to get rid of this.
We'll get rid of it.
Now I got my, do you want to sit?
No, she wants to stand. Do you want to sit
I
or
want to
stand?
stand with you.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't
there.
want to
Okay.
look odd.
So, and as they're assembling too, I just want to say, I know Connie is being too humble in what she does. And it is truth that she is behind the scenes. I've known her the entire 19 years she's lived in Monee. Best neighbor ever, and first person to raise her hand to help anybody in town.
Thank you. Get my boobs in here.
No, stop. She can't help herself, she always does.
Oh.
All right, thank you guys very much.
Congratulations.
I'll bring it.
You know, you want to have to call
Thank you, boy, for doing that. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Lee. Congratulations, Connie. It's a great award to receive, so congratulations from the board. Okay, second, under my report, is a commendation for Sergeant Jamal Martin. The Monee Police Department is pleased to announce the recent graduation of Sergeant Jamal Martin from the Northwestern University Staff and Command Program. This program provides upper-level college instruction with a vast curriculum of command officer topics. The Northwestern University Center for Public Safety is considered one of the top-tier police leadership schools in the nation. The Monee Police Department anticipates a significant range of benefits from Sergeant Martin's participation in this program. Many Northwestern graduates go on to achieve a variety of leadership positions within the law enforcement community. Sergeant Martin is to be commended for his commitment and effort in completing this prestigious training. He should also be recognized for not only excelling for 22 weeks of intense studies, but also for showing up many early mornings and late evenings at the police department to assure his shift was getting all the support and resources needed. Monee Police Department is not only proud of his accomplishments, but grateful for his dedication to his profession, his fellow officers, and his community. Congratulations, Sergeant Martin.
Jamal, congratulations. Congratulations.
Does everybody want to join? Yeah, do the whole crew, come on. Thank you.
Okay, next, on to more awards. The Crew Awards. CREW is an acronym that defines an employee who provides exemplary work. CREW represents credibility, respect, equality, fellowship identity, and work commitment, personal performance. The semi-annual CREW employees have shown in many ways that they go the extra mile to serve the village both in their attitude and performance. The semi-annual CREW employees are an integral part of the CREW in how they approach the people they encounter and the work they perform. The Crew Award is issued semi-annually. Anyone may nominate any employee to a Crew Award winner for this recognition. To nominate an employee, the nominator must complete the Crew Award nomination form and submit the nomination form to Human Resources. The form solicits the nominator to provide written examples as to how the nominee exemplifies Crew. After receiving the nomination forms, HR will send out a list of all nominees to the department heads along with excerpts regarding the nominees' efforts. Nominees are then voted upon by the department heads. So we have got this evening, it's an honor for us to have the following employees recognized by their respective departments. Department of Public Works, we've got DJ Cruzel, Calvin Munchow, and Dan Trofimchunk. Trustee Horn, since this is your department, if you would please read.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. I'd like to tell you a little bit about each of our recipients here. These recommendations were from people in the village, and these are their comments about these gentlemen. This is some comments regarding DJ Cruzel. Whenever I've texted DJ with ideas and questions, or I have things I need DJ's expertise and work on, he is always very quick to answer, then takes action to get my request taken care of. DJ has always been respectful and understanding of my requests and ideas and always lets me know rather quickly when the job is done and with a photo of his work with a simple thumbs up emoji. DJ has never not told me, sorry, I don't have the time. He has always made time to respond and put the finishing touches on a project when I ask. Here's from another person. Mr. Cruzel is always on time. He always goes over and beyond to his ability to complete tasks. I would like to point out he is always the first to jump in when he is needed. He is always on top of tasks to do. Dave will always be straightforward with his coworkers. If one does not know how to do a task, he will step in and train the coworkers. He has never given grief on switching from one task to another. Dave will always give his opinions and stands for what he believes in. He continues to have respect with other coworkers. Coworkers are comfortable to go to him and ask questions if needed. With all Dave's previous experience, he has no issues on showing the ropes. Dave has never done anything that he's not 100% committed to. He has never had a problem with being called in at all hours of the night. He never cuts corners on a job. Dave is 100% passionate about what he does. He has always had the highest level of commitment. You can always count on him to always give his highest advice. Coworkers say if you don't know, ask DJ. He is fluent in all areas of the job, and if he doesn't know, he's willing to learn. When a coworker is out for family emergencies, he will step up and commit to helping out. Now here's about Calvin. Calvin is a perfect candidate for this award as he is a great example of what Crew is all about. Calvin has top-tier communication skills. For years, he has been installing water meters in residents' homes and businesses as well as dealing with high water bill issues and such. Calvin is great at communicating with the customer and assisting in many different kind of ways, such as pulling meter reports and assisting in finding water leaks to ensure the customer is being well taken care of and that their concern is his top priority. There is never an event after hours where Calvin is not readily available to be on site. Emergency water repairs and turning on water for a resident being just a couple examples of this. Over the years, Calvin has never been one afraid to ask questions when he is unsure about something. His drive to self-educate as well as to take information from others who have a bit more experience in a certain area set him apart from the rest here. Respectful would be the very first adjective I would use to describe Calvin. He is always please and thank you and makes sure you're aware of his appreciation when you've assisted him with the task. Calvin truly takes the phrase, a little kindness goes a long way to the next level. Calvin is a true dedicated village employee. Working with residents and businesses is a high responsibility as you are representing the village as a whole. Calvin treats everyone in the very same and would never favor one person over another. Each concern is valid and will be taken seriously to him, and he will make sure that the end we'll have a happy customer whilst doing it by the book the right way. Calvin is a pleasure to work with, and I speak for us all here in DPW when I say that we are more than happy to have Calvin here on our team, as he plays a critical role here in Public Works. Calvin is extremely passionate about what he does. Calvin is a Class C water operator, and one example of his passion and desire to learn is that he is studying on his own time the ins and outs of a Class A. Saying he is eager to learn and take on more is an understatement. After 5 years of working with Calvin, I can only say honestly good things. It's been a privilege working with him, and I look forward to the years ahead. From my perspective, it sure has been great watching him grow in knowledge every day, year after year. Not many employees these days increase performance as time goes on, but Calvin surely does. For the reasons mentioned and many more, Calvin is the most ideal candidate for this award. It is a bit overdue, but surely warranted, and I know this trophy of appreciation will only increase his drive even further. Thank you for your dedication, Calvin. It does not go unnoticed and is greatly appreciated by everyone here in Public Works. Here's from another person. Calvin is very dependable through the days and nights. He has become someone we can count on through the day to go from one water call to the next. Calvin is the most respectful guy in the shop. I've never received anything but awesome complaints of what a well-mannered young man Calvin is. Calvin always has been passionate about safety and going the extra step most will not. Calvin has been 100% committed since day one. He has always been willing to take that extra step to move forward with learning to advance his career in the water department. He has never cut corners to get ahead. He has always looked forward to the schooling to further his career. I've never once had Calvin back down to learning something new. And then about Dan Trofimchuk. Dan is one of the most dependable people I have met. When the baseball fields needed to be done, Dan was the only one to do them for every game. Dan would take time out of his busy schedule to do them. Dan will do anything for a fellow co-worker in need, no questions asked. Dan understands the concept of team. He will show up early to train others and also one of the last to leave. Dan treats everyone the same, like you or not. This speaks of his character. Dan has worked for the village for 22 years and has had his share of trials and tribulations, but has always come to work with a smile. So those are my 3 candidates, 3 award winners. Yeah, guys, come on up here.
Was the only thing clean, how about that?
Take a picture?
Yes, of course.
Okay, come on, guys. On the side. No, where's it?
Right side.
Want to do that first?
Oh, we can probably do it together. Get some exercise today.
And for our next crew award for Parks and Rec is Rhonda Payton. Without a doubt, Rhonda is the reason so many families utilize the before and after school care program at Monee Elementary School. Rhonda has made a great bond not only with students and their parents, but with the school staff. Parents go to work knowing their children are safe and being well taken care of. Rhonda has dealt with children with various home lives and special needs. She's been very supportive and heartfelt with every situation that has come into the program, adjusting accordingly. Children look forward to coming to the program because of Rhonda. Rhonda works at the program with pride, is an outstanding representative of the Village of Monee. She's always talking about other programs Parks and Rec has available and talks to prospective parents about the before and after school program. Her commitment to her job in the school is very apparent. The school is very pleased in how amazing Rhonda is with the kids and protecting the school. All the staff at Monee Elementary looks forward to Rhonda being there and caring for the children enrolled in the program. She respects and cares for the school as if it were her own. We are truly grateful and lucky to have such an outstanding employee of the Village of Monee working in such an important program that the community relies on for the working parent. Rhonda?
Come in. You gotta do the walk.
And for the Building Services Crew Award, we have Jim Pace. When duty calls, Jim is always ready to serve the community in any capacity. Jim is currently serving as a volunteer with the EMA department and joined the ranks of Code Compliance Officer in 2022. Jim is devoted, reliable, respectful, and gives, there's a typo here, it says 100%. Jim gives 110% in my book to any task that is assigned to him. He has a positive attitude and it's very contagious. He spread very contagious and has already spread to the rest of the team members. Jim has earned the respect of all staff members in the Building Services Department as well as all other departments in the village. Jim is reserved in the face of adversity and handles every challenge with the utmost consideration. He is able to de-escalate difficult situations and make people feel at ease. Jim is definitely a team player, and it shows every day. He is willing to go the extra mile and help out in every circumstance, whether working after hours or even working on weekends to help the team complete unfinished tasks due to the schedule demand. Jim has won several EMA Top Awards a few years in a row and for his dedication to the team and for serving the community. He is continuing to add his name to awards from the Building Services Department. We value Jim and his commitment to the Monee team and to the community.
Because there's actually more for you, Jim. As you've heard, Jim wears many hats for the Village of Monee. Since he's walked in the door at Monee Emergency Management, he hit the ground running and has never stopped. In 3 short years, he became an EME responder, a field training officer, search and rescue coordinator, and an active member in our duty officer program. Additionally, he joined our building department as a code compliance officer. Credibility is a pillar within our agency and within the building department as well. Without credibility, our departments would fail. We strive to gain the respect and trust of our residents and businesses. Jim's become a key partner in that. He has become a full circle safety member in both departments, in both the prevention and the response to village services. Anytime, day of the week, Jim's always there for us. Whether there's a holiday, a Saturday patrol, a weekend blizzard, Jim's always there serving without complaint. He's set a high bar for our agency to follow and leads by example for all of our volunteers to follow after. Jim's earned the respect within our village. His work ethic, leadership, personality, and his positive attitude makes him a pleasure to have at our agency, along with, I just lost my place. Excuse me. Jim's communications are always very professional and in the best interest of the village. These skills are vital to EMA since we're building an agency staffed by volunteers. Positivity is what is needed to meet the demands of our volunteers, and Jim does so and has earned the respect of the members. Jim's taken a lead role in the development of our search and rescue team and has recruited new volunteers, has taken on extra training, and has reached out to other communities to help grow our team and the team's knowledge. Jim is a role model within our village and reaches out to members in need just to check on them. He always wears his uniform with pride and respect. I consider Jim a team player, whether it's a call, a training detail, or a funeral. Jim's always there representing the village. We've been struck with 4 deaths within our extended EMA family, and Jim has always been there to represent us. In addition, Jim has won the President Volunteer Service Award every year since he has joined Monee Emergency Management, and he never misses an internal training, as well as completed multiple outside training certificates. Jim has represented Monee in assisting outside EMA agencies, representing our standards of duty, honor, and service to the highest degree. Jim's service to both building services and EMA makes us better leaders. Thank you, Jim. That was several people saying good things about it. We're quite fun to check. And last, but certainly not least here, for Monee Police Department Officer Matt Hoekstra. Matt has become a very dependable and integral part of Monee PD. He's always going the extra steps to assist in everything from village events to training new officers. From what I see and hear, Matt is always ready to lend a hand with new officers to helping anyone that needs assistance in the department. He works with investigations when they need extra manpower. He has headed up the push to get steering wheel locks onto owners of Kias and Hyundais to help prevent theft. He even got my wife to actually put it on her car. My observations of Matt have demonstrated the high level of respect that Matt has, not only for his fellow officers, but for our community as well. When training new officers, Matt makes every effort to make sure that each officer is given everything that they need to be the best officer that they can be. This includes taking each officer he trains over to EMA to meet the people there and to understand what they do and what they can offer to help with any situation that may come along. When Matt works our village events such as Fall Fest, I always see Matt there. He greets our residents with a smile and is always willing to talk to them. I've heard from several business owners that they enjoy having Matt stop by while he's on patrol, and he certainly has their respect. Matt wears his uniform with pride. He is proud to be an officer for Monee and to be serving our community. He cares about his fellow officers and is always there to help out when needed. Matt's a big supporter of Special Olympics and the events that Monee participates in. He can be seen at Dunkin' Donuts for Cop on a Roof, even taking a polar plunge to help raise funds and awareness. Matt's always involved in many areas from patrol to investigations, yet he still finds time to make sure that Monee is safe. I received a letter from a resident, also a business owner recently, that shows how much Matt cares about Monee. The letter stated, "I wanted to reach out on a professional matter and commend Officer Hoekstra for outstanding performance of duty and situational awareness. Today, he saw my truck parked at the creamery for the Juneteenth presentation. A little later, he observed smoke coming from the Cooperage property and came to check it out. Holden was there with a small fire. We were burning the invasive honeysuckle that we were removing from the woods for our nature trail. Everything was fine here, but I really appreciated Matt's vigilance. That was from Lauren Buckmeyer. Taking these extra steps just shows the commitment and dedication that Matt has for his profession, his department, and for our community. We're very grateful to have Matt, and I personally am thankful for all that he does for us. Wait, there's more. Officer Hoekstra exemplifies crew traits in many ways. He can always be counted on to do whatever is asked of him promptly and correctly. Officers often go to him when they need clarification or help with a task that they're having difficulties with. Officer Hoekstra can always be counted on to make everyone feel welcome. He's highly approachable. His warm demeanor often makes him one of our most enjoyable officers to be around. He can always be counted on to give you an honest opinion when asked. Officer Hoekstra is an officer anyone can go to if they need a friendly shoulder. He cares about how much each of us are doing and quickly sees when someone isn't themselves. He has an uncanny ability to raise your spirits. He also works diligently to recruit for the department and mold new officers through our FTO program. He is often the first to volunteer for community service events because he wants to promote positive interactions with the citizens of Monee. Officer Hoekstra's commitment to his job and the department is phenomenal. He is always ready to stay over or come in on his day off to help with anything. His coworkers know if they have a question that he's a phone call away, no matter the day or the time. He attends all the community events with a smile on his face and a positive attitude. He can often be found cleaning up, taking out trash, and caring for multiple animals that come in through the police department. He took it upon himself to bathe a stray puppy who had been found and was covered in motor oil. That's dedication. Congratulations, Pat.
Get in there, Chief.
Thanks, guys.
So a big congratulations to all the crew award winners this half year. I was gonna say quarter. So congratulations. Next on my report is a presentation by PSI. As discussed at the board meeting on June 14th, the village is actively searching for a regional construction management company to work with our engineers and build the infrastructure at the village's town center. Core Construction presented at the previous board meeting, and we are pleased to have PSI with us this evening for their presentation. So please welcome Justin Goslin and Bob Bedell from PSI.
Thank you. Good evening. My name is Justin Gosselin. I'm the president and co-owner of PSI Construction. We're based out of Kankakee, and this is my colleague, Bob Adele. We have some presentations to hand out. Would it be okay if you put yours in pencil top? While Bob's handing those out, we're a local contractor, regionally speaking. We work within 60 miles of Kankakee, which is where our main office is at. We have offices in Bradley and one also in Munster, but we stay within our 60-mile footprint. We do that because we can control our workload a lot better than trying to work outside that area. What else is nice about that, or which I'll circle back around to, is all the guys that work for us. We run about 70 people. We got 70 guys. All of our guys are local guys, regionally again, but they're all guys from our area. They've all been with our company, probably over 50 of them have been with us probably close to 20 years. So it's a very good, tight-knit group of people. As we go through the slides, I'm not going to read through the slides. I'm not going to insult you. I'll let Bob talk me through them, and I'll speak to what I want to speak to. One of the things about us being a construction manager, we're also a general contractor, which is important. And why that's important is we also bid a lot of work because we actively work on a lot of projects. We perform all of our own trades typically, but not always. But with doing so, it means bidding and our budgeting is very accurate because we're used to competitively bidding, and we're also used to pricing in a unit price environment. With that being said, we have a very extensive client list. Being within the same 60 miles, that's kind of important because you can't make too many people mad and stay in business for very long. We've been in business for 30 years. I've been doing this for 30 years. Bob's been with the I have not been with the company 30 years, obviously, but Bob's been.
I've been with PSI for 24, and I've been in the industry for 32.
And I've been in the industry for 30. But I guess what makes us unique is the quality and the way that we do work with our clients and the team aspect that we do work with our clients in. We don't just have customers, we have clients, and that reason is because everybody's a repeat customer to us. And that's probably the biggest attribute that we have going for us. This here's our management team. We do everything in a team concept at PSI. The picture you're looking at there is about 25 guys and ladies that make up our management team. That team there is, in the blue shirts are all either project managers, superintendents, or foremen. And each of those have people below them. Like I said, we have about 70 people, but that's our management team. The reason we bring this up and we show this to you is we don't just have one guy. Like most construction managers that come in, they'll bring in a project manager. That project manager might be a local person, may not be a local person, but that person might be the one representing the company at the time. But if something happens to that project manager, or if he moves on, or if he gets sick, or if Bob gets sick, we have a line of people that are local that come in that are already familiar with your project or projects for all that goes, which is pretty important because a lot of the national construction managers, they'll bring people in from other areas of the country, but you don't always know what you're going to get. It could be an intern, it could be somebody with 2 or 3 years of experience. But with us, we show that we have depth in our lineup, or our roster, if you will. The slide you're looking at there is Building Connected. That's our software that we use. So Building Connected is sometimes people use Procore, which is another one that we're familiar with. We use a lot. Building Connected is very nice because it's very interactive. So what Building Connected allows us to do as a construction manager is it allows us to work not only with the client, but everybody's in real time. The construction manager, the GCs, the subcontractors, the engineers, and the architects are all seeing the progress of the project in real time. Simply meaning that as budgets are getting put out, everybody that you designate is a person or your representative to the project will have access to Building Connected through one of our licenses. And what that'll do is they'll see their budget as it's getting updated, as it changes. It also allows for the draws and change orders in real time. It shows for the submittals, when you're doing submittals and RFIs, and the approvals on those RFIs or submittals. The reason I bring all this up is it's very important because when you're building a team, this keeps everybody accountable. You'll know if somebody's not responding, if the architect isn't responding to an RFI and your project is lagging behind because there's submittals that aren't getting approved from the subcontractors, you know why in real time. So if Mr. Batista gets on there and he's a designee and he sees that the architect hasn't responded in 3 weeks, he knows what's going on before we even have our next meeting. Just keeps everybody accountable. This is our project team flow chart. So what this is this would be obviously you, the client, on the left. The team would be the center column. If and when we were selected, PSI would be obviously on the design team, as we call it. That design team would be a civil engineer, architect, electrical, or structural engineer, and your mechanical, electrical, plumbing engineers, if they're needed on this particular project. It's just each project is independent, obviously. But what's nice about this, though, is this keeps everybody aligned. And what I mean by that is we don't keep our own architects in house. We don't keep our own engineers in house, and that's important because that keeps transparency and that keeps accountability amongst everybody. With Building Connected being the one that keeps everybody lined up, it allows everybody to work as a team, and it also makes everybody accountable in the sense that we're not a construction manager that has an engineer that we can use as an excuse of why we're not getting engineering drawings out in a timely fashion. They're independent, and you get to see that in real time. The third column over on the other side over there, the construction to project manager. So those aren't filled in with names currently because we like to look at those as more a la carte. It saves you, the client, money. So as the project gets rolling, we might need to fill those roles, right? We might need to have a superintendent on the site. If say you have a grocery store going on that site and an Ace Hardware going on that site, it might deem the necessity of having 2 superintendents or 2 foremen on that project. But it doesn't need to be like that until that project is up and rolling. And it saves you money because typically supervision is one of the listed items in general conditions, right? Like dumpsters and porta johns and that sort of thing. You don't want to put them out there if you don't need them, so why make the client pay for them if you're not needed? Which leads our roster into that. It's just so the depth of a roster shows you that we can pull people from our roster to fill these if you really get this thing rolling and really bring a lot of people in and a lot of things really start happening quickly. Our project team, well, that's me. I've been in business for about 30 years. A couple of you know me pretty well, but I've had a full-time job at the same time that I've owned a construction business. So I'm very well accustomed to working long hours or long days. You can read my bio if you're bored in the bathroom later or something, but we'll just move on to the next one. Joe Crabtree is my partner. He would have been here today. He actually probably has more experience than I do, but he would have been here today, but he's on a scheduled family vacation down in Florida, so he's not with us today, but if you'd like, you can read his bio. Lisa's one of our team members. You guys call me the president of the company, but she's actually in charge. She runs this deal, but she is the core of our company. She really is. She's been there for 30 years. She knows all the interactions of all of it, and typically every piece of paper in that place goes through her, even after it goes through the assistant manager or any of the accounting staff. She is very hands-on, and she's a critical person to our operation, but I hope you get to meet her. This is Heather. This is our assistant office manager. I'm just going to show you a couple of our staff here. No, go ahead, move on. Jason Phillips is a senior project manager or estimator. I bring him on because he has a lot of experience. He will probably be one of the guys that would be involved in your project. If not him, it would be another person, but there'll be people that are backed up behind the prime project manager. That way it keeps us everybody abreast of what's going on with your project. But Jason's been with us since, for what, 4 years?
Yes.
He's been with us for 4 years. And then Bob Adele, who's standing here, he's another one of our senior project managers. You want to introduce yourself?
Sure. So, like I said, I've been in the industry for 34 years now. Been with PSI for 24 of those. I started in the field, worked my way up through being just a carpenter, superintendent, foreman, into the present role where I'm an estimator and a project manager. I've done a lot of medical, a lot of big industrial projects and sites. Yeah, that's me.
Okay. And the next person in this lineup is Owen Starr. He's a project manager that actually is working under Bob on several projects, but he would be one that would be on your project if we were selected. He's a young man and he's very aggressive and he's
Very smart kid.
He's a very smart kid. Go ahead. Jim Schnur. So in our company, of our staff, there's 3 different prongs to our company. There's a new construction side, an industrial side, and a medical side. And of those 3 prongs, there's 3 general superintendents that run the supers and foremen below them. Jim Schnur is in charge. He's the general superintendent for new construction. He would be the guy running the foreman for a project like this. He has a lot of experience. He started in the field just like all of our people in our company. Everybody started in the field and has worked their way up through the ranks and have become foremen or project managers like Bob. But Jim was a project manager in the office and he went back out into the field to become a general superintendent to run crews, to run several crews actually. But that's Jim, and he's a local person also. He's from Iroquois County. Some of the projects, I'm going to allude to just a few projects that we're construction managers on, just for a variety of reasons. But this one here, we're the construction manager for the Village of Bradley. We just completed the Bradley Fire Department within the last 30 days. That was a remodel and an addition of engine bays there. We just turned that project over to the fire department. And this one here, we're the construction manager for a large development in Munster. It's called Maple Leaf. That's a 4-story office medical building that we had just finished a shell on. We're building out the suites on it now for the developers. This whole corner over on Calumet Avenue is going to comprise of a hotel out back, a couple restaurants, and also a retractable roof cigar bar. We're the construction manager for the entire site, but we're overseeing this one currently while the other stuff completes engineering. Next is Riverside Medical Center. We're the construction manager for Riverside and also for St. Mary's. Riverside, we've done numerous projects for hospitals. Nick Sadoff is our field superintendent that's in charge of hospitals in the field, if you will. But this is actually their ED project. We turned this over 6 months ago. This was they were actually using the ER when we remodeled this. This was a complete remodel job with state-of-the-art trauma rooms up in the upper left-hand corner, and then those are nursing stations. And then this is the trauma rooms. But this was, with the ambulatory bays and everything, it was about a $15 million project. The architect slated it for an 18-month project. We completed it in 14 months on budget. Go ahead. This is Bradley Fire Department still. Or again, this is just some more slides of it. Tells you a little bit about it. The Bradley Fire Department that we just completed, we're actually getting ready to start. We're in engineering now for a park and a splash pad that we're designing for them. We're working with the designers on. Another one is Olivet Nazarene University. This is one of our bigger clients, honestly. The reason we show this is we do all their budgeting for them along with all their construction. What you're looking there is their executive center, and all that stone that's on the front of it, including the pillars, we replaced. We shored up the roof there and completely replaced all of it. The upper right-hand corner is Wisner Hall, and that's Ludwig, which is their dining facilities. Go ahead and flip it. And then what's the picture is not on there is Reed Hall, which is a 3-story building of science that we completely remodeled all these buildings, which was $15 million worth of work. What's unique about this is we did it all in 9 weeks. 9.
That's our construction schedule at Olivet. It's the summertime.
A lot of the colleges have the same type of schedule for us, but this is a heavy magnitude of work, obviously, because these were complete remodels, all of them. They were completely gutted and remodeled, and we had to do it in 9 weeks, and we did it during COVID. The letter there on the right is the letter from Rob. That's just a letter of recommendation. He's now the VP of the university. Tivoli. So the only reason I showed this one, or we selected this one, which is Meadowview Theater, we remodeled the existing and added 5 new theaters onto it as well. It was just over a $4 million project. That was done on time and on budget, just like the Olivet ones I should have mentioned. But the reason we brought this one into the fold was we have a lot of clients that are local that we work with, that we have such a good relationship with, that we can help make the introductions to bring them into new sites when we bring them in. We've done grocery stores and the theaters. We've done a lot of different things in banks. So we have a lot of relationships with a lot of our big variety of clients. And we just wanted to show that this is one that we could help make the introductions on. Not that they would come here, but we could certainly start the conversations with many of these type of local business people or corporations that might have interest in your area. And the last one I'm going to show is Shoot Manufacturing. This was a construction management job as well. This was a very large one. It was about $12 million. We finished that up the latter part of last year in December. If you look at the top right picture there, in the back it shows all this industrial complex behind it. All that storm water comes back into the back of Shoot, which is the second phase of, you can see the construction there. That's an 80,000 square foot addition next to the one we previously completed. But what's unique about this is we had to work with the Corps of Engineers, we had to work with utility companies, the county, the road chip commissioner, because we had to completely format the storm water for the entire industrial park. It all actually drains into that retention pond that you see in the backside. It discharges into a 3-foot pipe underneath the building, underneath the parking lot, and goes underneath the road to a retention pond next to 57. It's a first for engineering for us.
Yeah.
But at any rate, it functions, it works well, and that's a letter of recommendation from that president, and that's Ray Lovell. But that's the reason I brought that up, is because there was a lot of government entities and a lot of people that had to be brought into the fold to coordinate and make that happen in 12 months. Okay, benefits of the CM method. I'm going to try to get through this quickly for you. I know you got a lot to do. I guess the benefits of the CM is just the efficiency of project delivery. I mean, if a project manager is good at it, they organize everything and they get it delivered to you quickly, right? That only happens one of 2 ways, and that's through regular scheduled meetings. And with those meetings, they need to be regularly, and they need to involve the client or your representative. Typically, it'd be the construction manager, the subcontractors, the architect, the engineers, and especially the subcontractors and the client. And the reason I say that is because that way the client knows exactly what's going on. If there's complaints amongst the subcontractors, you know about it as the customer and the client. It's a transparency thing, and it's huge in our industry. I'll touch on guaranteed maximum pricing real quick. The guaranteed maximum pricing, that's out there. A lot of our industries call it GMAX. And basically what that is, it's guaranteed pricing through contingencies. And what they'll do is what most construction managers will do is they'll give you a contingency for each division of the building schedule, right? So one for architecture, footings, or electrical, one for plumbing. That's typically how they do the guaranteed maximum pricing, is you do it through contingencies on that. I like to think that the reason we're a little more accurate or a little better on guaranteed maximum pricing is all of our people in our office all come from the field. So in our industry, typically everybody from the construction manager, the briefcase contractors, they do everything by unit pricing, because unit cost pricing is done, that's what they teach in college. They teach it in college because those people haven't been in the trades. Our people have all been in the trades, they've actually done the field work, and they're working in the office, And all of us do carry, most of them do carry degrees. We have a couple engineers actually in the office. But they not only unit cost this thing out, but they do means and method. And means and method is important because that's what dials in what the true cost of a project can cost you. We do it all the time because we do a lot of bidding, and we price out a lot of things since we self-perform a lot of work. So what I mean by that means in method is we cross-check our unit pricing with that, and it dials that pricing in that much closer. What that means to you, my mouse dry. What that means to you is the contingency will I apologize, my mouth's getting dry. In our experience, if the contingencies, you shouldn't use much of the contingency money to start with. A lot of CMs look at that as a profit center, and what I mean by that is, if they look at your contingency money as a profit center, they're using it for change orders, and they're making a percentage off of that. So if you see great big contingencies on there, that should be alarming, because it's going to end up costing you more money. We like to get the contingency money in with a percentage of what the project is based on what the scope of the work is, and that way, if we keep our subs tight on them numbers, it just means it doesn't cost you a lot of money in change orders later. And that's typically how we have kept the client list that we have. We're very tight grip on those scopes. I know it might sound cliche-ish, but our motto is we like to treat your money like it's our money, and it's worked for us. This will be finishing up. Why PSI? Why PSI? Well, we've had the experience of working with a lot of general contractors in the industrial realm, especially. It's been our experience with working with the great big construction managers. They'll bring in a project manager that's typically a very good project manager. Might even be a local guy. However, the superintendents that they bring in are brought in from other areas. They may be brought in from Texas or somewhere else, or even worse, our experience has been they hire them off Indeed. And then we work with them as a general contractor or as a carpentry contractor, if you will. And if when they have a bad experience with another site somewhere else and that good project manager leaves, what's that leave you with? The only reason I bring that question up to you is because we've lived it several times with these big national construction managers. Another reason why I harp so much on that we stay within our 60-mile footprint. We have to keep everybody happy in our 60-mile footprint. When we're bidding, we're also bidding competitively. We're bidding the project competitively as though we're going to perform the work. We may not win the bid. It happens a lot if we don't win the bid, but it also keeps the budget that much tighter, and it also keeps our project managers and our estimators attuned to exactly where those numbers are on your project. And if things go sideways, we do have the manpower to fix the problem, to come in and rectify it. Money stays in the community. I say that kind of regionally, being that we're from Kankakee. But I'll end with our quality comes from our people, from our tradesmen and tradeswomen. I like to say we have the very best in the area because they've all kind of moved up and graduated within our organization. We're really good at retaining our people. And every one of our foremen that are out there have experience with doing site work and taking buildings out of the ground. And there's not too many contractors out there that can say that. We do our own training internally. So, do you have any comments, Bob?
No.
With that, anybody have any questions? Bob?
I do. You said, what is your percentage that you put for contingency money?
It varies on what the work is, okay, and what the scope of the work is. Site work typically gets a little more contingency money, mainly because you're relying on on the geotech of the engineer that actually went out and did your corings, your borings, right? If those are real accurate, it really makes the keeping the contingency money to a minimum. If they're not real accurate, or if there's surprises in there, then that's when you start using quite a bit of contingency money. But you can save more contingency money on some of the other things like concrete, okay? Some of the jobs that are more specific that you can refine those scopes of work for, and you know what your unknown, you don't have, your unknowns are more specified. You don't have very many of them. Does that make sense?
It does.
The contingency is kind of based on the division, the percentage of that size, not necessarily over the overall project, but
So-
each division.
So each,
Electrical, plumbing, concrete, those
so-
type of things, they all deserve a different percentage
Number.
based on the scope of the work.
okay, so then each one would have a different percentage.
And the quality of the drawings.
Yeah.
Okay. You said that you try to stay within the budget. How often has that not been the case? And when it hasn't been the case, what was the reason for blowing up the budget or being that much under budget?
We've never really had a blown budget.
Okay.
We're typically within 5% in change orders,
At the very most.
at the very most.
Typically, I mean, we're in the 1% to 2% range. And a lot of times we come in under budget based on not using the contingency.
And what happens to those funds when you come under budget?
They're returned back to the owner. And that's why we put them in there that way. It covers the unforeseens and the unknowns. Like Justin said, dirt work, we don't know what's under our feet. We rely on borings, and they're every 30, 40, 50 feet apart, so we all know what the ground changes underneath. So that's why that division could honor a higher percentage of contingency. But all the contingency money that's in the project, if it's not used, is refunded back to the owner.
Okay. Time-wise, other than something as catastrophic as the pandemic, what would be a reason, other than really bad weather, that the job would not be completed on time?
Unfortunately, right now, in the world we live in, lead times is an issue.
Okay.
And a lot of that is just scheduling and managing that, making sure that we're constantly checking on deliveries and supposedly delivery dates. So that's the only big thing that could lead to that, other than, like Justin said, maybe a subcontractor or something that doesn't perform up to our standards, but we have the capabilities of rectifying that within.
And currently, on lead times of parts or supplies in the supply chain, I know we've all heard it forever now. What is that looking like?
It's getting better.
Okay.
A lot of the structural type stuff, concrete, steel, wood, that type of stuff, it's getting better. Some of the things we're still seeing issues with is air handlers and electrical distribution type stuff. So those are things that need to be pre-planned or maybe pre-purchased before a project starts to make sure that we can get it within that time frame.
Thank you.
One of the other things I'd like to add to that is, one of the biggest hurdles that we wrestle with anymore is dealing with utility companies.
Those two.
We've dealt with this with Iroquois paving. Right now, we're getting ready to start another project, and we're being told 75 weeks on transformers. So it's just, the lead times with utility companies is just, I really don't have a word for it. It's beyond frustrating. But that's one of the biggest lead time problems that we have to be way ahead of on a project like, something like what you guys are wanting to do. I brought Bob and we drove the property before we came to the meeting, and that's one of the things that we discussed is lead times with ComEd and making sure that we get in engineering early on something like this, because it's gonna be a tough ride.
And we've crossed that before, and we've been brought in the beginning of a project where we've been able to focus on those type of long lead areas and get them, like I said, secured early in the project so we can get that stuff out while the rest of it's being designed.
So something like a 75-week situation, it's a year and a half out. So we would order now for the job to be, how does that,
Doesn't necessarily have to be the start of the job. So if your job's a 12-month project, then obviously that helps, but we need that power at some point in time. So, that would be part of the scheduling and in the early part of the project and the budgeting is those items would be determined early on so that, like I said, they could be purchased, processed, all that stuff could be done way ahead of time.
Getting the preliminary engineering done and getting the electrical engineer laying that out with transformers and stuff and getting that to ComEd's engineering is critical. It's critical in the early on stages. It's one of the first things we'd probably try to tackle with the civil and the design engineer on it.
okay, so in current time, what I mean by current time was within the last 24 months, have you seen that time speeding up and things coming about more frequently versus when they say X amount of weeks, you're actually getting it sooner, or is it running past that?
I would love to tell you yes, but no.
Okay,
It's actually gotten worse.
thank you.
Well, I'm starting to understand why you're called PSI. There's a lot of pressure involved in your job.
Wow, I've not heard that one, that's good.
So with that being said, Olivet Nazarene, 9 weeks, right? Everything had to probably go perfect or close to it. Give me an example of where things didn't go according to plan and how you dealt with that situation.
Well, I'll give you a great example during that time period. So during that time period, we were doing the ambulatory, which is the surgical center inside of Riverside at the same time during COVID. We were doing the pharmaceutical clean rooms and processing rooms inside of CSL. We were building, we were building 4 or 5 big projects at the time.
Mm-hmm.
When COVID hit, we actually had to split our crews in half and go to A teams and B teams to make sure that we wouldn't take a chance of cross-contaminating and losing our whole crew. That was a logistical nightmare because there isn't any more manpower out there.
So we broke it up into shifts. So we had a day shift and a night shift, and we flip-flopped those back and forth in order to keep, if someone in one crew were to get it, it didn't affect everybody. At the time when we had to, I forget the name of the word. When you have it, you have to do what?
PPE. Yeah,
Quarantine. There you go. Thank you. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So I know that you basically have 3 specialties in the 3 different scopes: new construction, medical, and industrial. So can you give us an example of maybe under the new construction, a favorite project or maybe something similar to what we're looking at here in Monee that you've already completed?
Well, a favorite project that we are working on coming up is for actually the Village of Bradley. We're working with a regional planner in the mall because it's pretty much antiquated, it's gone. They're going to redevelop that whole area. We're working with that regional planner currently to bring that up and bring it back to life. We're working with an operator for a bowling alley and a racetrack and arcade to go in there. We're also working with the owners of Bub City to come down and come into another one of the anchor sites, which is a close friends of Max, or my partner, but Bub City. But that's one that I'm really looking forward to getting involved in, because bringing something like that together is not only complicated, but it's rewarding when you're done. You know, as far as things that we've done in the past, I'd say we do such a variety of things, of projects. I don't know if I could pick one thing out that we've done, because we typically do, just to give you an idea of the magnitude, we run about $70 million worth of work a year. And we get to do a lot of different things, whether it be at the community college or Riverside or building a theater or a bank. We built 2 or 3 banks just south of here. You know, there's so many different attributes to each one of those kind of projects that I think every one of them are fun, to be honest.
And do you have, like, let's say, favorite subs and architects and designers that you favor and working really well with?
Yes. I think everybody does, yes.
Yeah,
We have several engineers, architects we do work with, but yeah, we're partial to several. What's that? Yes.
Yes, that's the Student Life Center at Olivet. I was a project manager for that, and you just stole my answer. That was my favorite project, only because I'm an athlete. My kids are athletes, so that one was really interesting to me because there's a indoor track, a swimming pool, lazy river, 4 basketball courts inside that building. Yes, there's a climbing wall in there. At the time when we built it, was the second largest climbing wall in any university in North America.
So on page 3, last bullet point, it says our experience modification is 0.74%. It's 0.74. I'm not familiar with that term.
That mod rate is our workers' comp rate. That just shows that we don't have very many claims, if any. We actually have to take that back. We had one last year. We had one injury last year. It wasn't our guy's fault, but it was at CSL. He was in the wrong place at the wrong time. But that's our mod rate. It's exceptionally low. And it's also our safety rating.
And that's used in a lot of our industrial plants to be able to even work in those. If your mod is too high, you're not allowed to work in those places. So, and that's contributed to our safety program that we have in-house.
So with our guys, all our guys are OSHA certified. They're also all trained in the areas that they're in. So they all have fork truck cards and lift truck cards and certifications. And to be in the industrial side, all of our guys company-wide need to carry all this because we rotate our guys around a lot. So that with all of our guys being OSHA trained and also on a regular training schedule, it keeps our safety rating really low, which really needs to be low to even get in the industrial sites. That's why there's not many contractors that are in most of them, and we're in 90% of them down in Kankakee County.
All right. Thank you very much. We appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us. Would it be okay to shake everybody's hand? Thank you.
Thank you, Justin. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Justin. Appreciate it. Thank you. Thanks, Bob. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Bob. Thank you.
All right, moving on to the administrator's report.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for sticking around. I liken this night to if you have a large family, if you have a lot of kids, and having a strong family, you make sure each kid is at the other kid's activity. So tonight's the piano recital. I appreciate you being at the kids' piano recital and showing your support, especially to the PD. Congratulations to all the winners, recipients, and also to Sergeant Martin. It was a very distinguished, so everyone knows, very distinguished accomplishment. Congratulations to you, Sergeant. Thank you. First item under my report is the Wilson Area Water Main Replacement, pay request number 2. The village has received pay request number 2 invoice from H. Linden and Sons for work completed on the above referenced project. The invoice has been reviewed by staff in Robinson Engineering and finding that the work complies with the engineered plans and specifications. We recommend that H. Linden and Sons is entitled to payment of $523,674.09 as summarized. The total earned to date is $1,221,028.20, less the 5%, $61,051.41, for a subtotal of $1,159,976.79, less a previous payment of $636,302.70. So tonight, this pay request is $523,674.09. Board action request is a motion to approve pay request number 2 to H. Linden and Sons in the amount of $523,674.09.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call, please.
Trustee Hansen?
Yes.
Trustee Rakes?
Yes.
Trustee Wilson?
Yes.
Trustee Udris?
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez?
Yes.
Trustee Horn?
Yes.
Thank you, Board. Next item, Sunset Drive Water Main Improvements, pay request number 3. The village has received pay request 3 from M&J Underground for the above referenced project. The invoice has been reviewed by staff in Robinson Engineering and agree that the work is completed in substantial compliance with the engineered plan and specifications. We recommend that M&J Underground is entitled to pay request number 3 in the amount of $45,662.40. Summarized below, total earned to date is $600,658.25, less 10% of $60,065.83, for a subtotal of $540,592.42, less a previous payment of $494,930.02. The amount due this request, number 3, is $45,662.40. Board action request is a motion to approve pay request 3 to M&J Underground in the amount of $45,662.40.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call.
Trustee Rakes?
Yes.
Trustee Wilson?
Yes.
Trustee Udris?
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez?
Yes.
Trustee Horn?
Yes.
Trustee Henson?
Yes.
Thank you, Board. Next item is DPW purchase RC mower 60 XP. The Department of Public Works Superintendent has requested a purchase of a 2023 RC mower. The RC grass mower is remote controlled with a 60-inch mower deck and rubber tracks designed for steep inclines, 50 degrees, allowing a professional grass cut without danger or risk while cutting deep embankments or traversing over rugged terrain. Much of the village-owned maintained properties are open green space, which include vacant lots, parks, and/or detention ponds with steep embankments. Over the years, while staff have been tending to grass-cutting projects, there have been instances where our conventional tractor mowers have lost traction on steep embankments, eventually slipping down into the detention pond. The purchase of the RC mower would eliminate the risk and danger of serious injury to our staff. This purchase has been budgeted for fiscal year 2024, and the vehicle quote is attached for the board's review. It should be noted that Brown Equipment Company has invoiced the cost at a reduced government rate with a cost savings to the village in the amount of $5,215.50. Board action requested is a motion to approve the purchase of a 2023 RC mower TK60XP from the Brown Equipment Company in the amount of $64,497.00.
Make that motion.
Second.
Discussion?
Just a comment on this, because DPW, we've been talking in the DPW department about this for at least a few years. As you know, all our mowers are ZTRs, zero turn. I believe they're all ZTRs. But I think the incline on those is up to maybe 24%, I believe, somewhere around there. So we do have some places in the village that the incline is greater than that, but also, as it says in this summary, that we have some retention ponds that are impossible for us to get to with our conventional tractors. So especially if there's been any rain. I'm sure it's a little bit different in this last month, but usually if there's a normal amount of rain, it's impossible to get down to some of those places. So this is just another piece in beautifying our village, making sure everything is looking sharp, trimmed up, cleaned up. So that's all I have. Thank you.
And I would love to see a video of this thing in action.
Ed, this is bought for like the ponds that were really hard to get into and the problems that we've been having with some of the safety issues with that, right? That's correct. Both people getting in there and mowing it, so that should really help the situation out with that, so.
This piece of equipment is cutting edge. Just had to throw that in there. I'm on a roll tonight, watch out.
You have a gift, sir.
makes captain, and all of a sudden.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Wilson.
Yes.
Trustee Udris.
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez.
Yes.
Trustee Horn.
Yes.
Trustee Henson.
Yes.
Trustee Rakis.
Yes.
Thank you, Board. End of my report.
Thank you. Moving on to the officials' reports, Public Works, Trustee Horn.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Court Street construction update. If you've driven down Court Street, especially this week, you'll know that the concrete restoration, actually that took place, I believe it was last week, and asphalt patches are being completed today. They should have been completed this afternoon. I haven't been in town since this morning. But they were working on them this morning. Final cleanup of construction debris and restoration of non-paved areas are expected to begin next week. So that's really great news. It's progressing very nicely. The subs who are doing all that stuff have been stacked really well. So that's really good. Tree replacement, we're doing stump grinding and large tree removal is underway today and tomorrow. New parkway trees will be planted the second week of August by DPW crews. Several people have reached out inquiring about parkway tree replacement. Anyone who is aware of parkway trees needing attention or replacement can contact DPW to be added to the list. Branch pickup will be Monday, July 3rd. That's next Monday. Water main flushing will begin Monday, July 17th, and is scheduled to continue through that Friday, July 28th. These dates are subject to change based on weather and other factors. Please be on the lookout for signs in your area, which will be posted 24 hours in advance, and we still are looking for 2 full-time labor positions in the Public Works Department, so you can go on our website, villageofmonee.org/jobs for more information. Thank you. End of report.
Thank you very much. Parks and Recreation, Trustee Gonzalez.
Thank you, Mayor. Our Parks and Recreation Board report for this evening. Tonight's movie in the park featuring Surf's Up has been moved inside the parks building due to the poor air quality. And I know Diana invited everybody to come see the movie and bring like pool floats or rafts and things to lay and watch the movie. I thought was very cute. And I did just pull up, our air quality is still over 200, 228. So it has gone down a little bit from today. So please be careful out there. And Kids Day is Saturday, July 8th from 10 a.m. to noon. Featuring again our Touch-A-Truck, our free hot dogs, a gamer's truck, there's an Oreo stacking contest, water slides, and more. And right after that is the Joliet Slammers game for Monee, sponsored by Monee Chamber of Commerce, and tickets are still available here at Village Hall. And the next movie in the park is July 12th, and it's going to be Jumanji, showing that. And July 18th is the next party in the park from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. at Potawatomi Park. And July 19th is the Senior Expo, free for seniors and their caregivers to come and meet organizations and businesses who offer services or assistance for our seniors. End of report.
Thank you. Finance, Trustee Rakis.
Thank you, Mayor. July of last year, the village implemented an investment strategy. The village invested $3 million in government bonds and notes, corporate bonds, as well as money market accounts. These investments were staggered over 1, 2, and 3 years. We currently have assets maturing in the upcoming months totaling $700,000. The Finance Department will be seeking direction as to the wishes of the board in regards to reinvestment. End of report.
Great, thank you. Economic Development, Trustee Wilson.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Under Project Unite Monee, 2 new business licenses have been issued. They're home-based businesses. Opulent Events provides decorating services for events and party planning. Sterling Projects LLC provides contracting services. Under Magnify Monee, the village has featured Crow's Head Cooperage on our Village of Monee Facebook page. If you haven't yet taken a look or seen what's going on over there, a lot's going on. Take a look at our Facebook page. At this time, I would like to ask for our Economic Development Director, Bill Barnes, to step up, and he has a presentation for us tonight.
All right, thank you, Mike. There you go. So, as part of economic development is to enhance our area, which we've been doing, the village. Oh, terrific. Why is that not showing, John? John, why is it not working? Oh, wait. Oh, so wait a minute. Any more? It's not working. I could talk through it, but I have visuals, so. Oh, there we go. All right, slideshow.
Zach, you stay there?
Oh. All right, maybe they're, we'll see. Okay. All right, so I've been working with the mayor and Administrator Batista on, of course, our 150th anniversary is coming up next year, and in ways that we can really bring life, not literally, but to the history of Monee and Monee in particular. So in my, I guess, travels to visit my daughter and such, I noticed things, and I saw a few sculptures when I was in California. I contacted a sculptor, and well, that's our 150th logo, so we worked on that too. So I saw this, so kind of a figurative sculpture, and then prior to this meeting, we met with several people from the Historical Society, and getting their ideas on Monee, Marie, that type of thing. So Chrissy has a lot of ideas that she would be able to help us with. So I located, I'm gonna have to kind of, okay, John, why is, I can't find my mouse now, sorry. Why? All right, I'll use touchscreen. All right, do that. All right, sorry, technical difficulties. Okay, so, all right, this is, I apologize. I've got too many things open apparently. Okay, here we go. So, in contacting people locally that I know that are in the fine arts, particularly in the 3D arts, the person I know connected me with the woman that you're going to see, who is from Peoria, and she's an adjunct professor in 3D design at Bradley University. So this is a little bit of her story, and then she would connect me, or she has connected me with the woman who you'll also see to do this sculpture if you so choose. Now the first one I showed is just more of an idea, so it's an idea.
As an artist, people look at your artwork and they come away with something. When I was younger, I used to be a draftsman over at Caterpillar, and I found that I just wasn't challenged enough. I did have a background in art. My mother taught me painting, and back in the 70s, macrame was big. I was making sculptures of, cords and such, but I thought that drafting would be the way to go. And when I was working over there, I realized that I was missing something. So I decided to quit the job, and I went into the mural business. And I worked professionally, creating murals for Peoria and such for about 10, 15 years. That's when I decided I was going to go back to school, get my degrees, and teach. I thought I was going to be teaching painting. I got my BFA, concentrated in paintings for them, and took my last semester and took it in sculpture. My last semester is when I discovered I could use my engineering background along with my art and build complete. I've always liked a challenge. I've worked in different foundries, and I've worked for a lot of great artists putting their pieces together. So I got the technical background that I needed to create life-size bronzes. I find it fascinating to be able to work with the engineering part of the brain and also the artistic part of the brain and create sculptures that society can use in a positive way. My life has always been a lot of different avenues, but I feel like if you don't venture down every avenue, education-wise or life experience, you don't become the whole. I feel grateful for everything that I've been through in my life. And there's sometimes that you feel like you have walls thrown at you, knock them down. Get up every morning, put your big girl pants on, and be who you're supposed to be.
So that's Jackie, and that's not what I want. So the person that would actually be doing the actual sculpture, here we go again. Sure. Slideshow. Start. All right, that's good enough. Thank you. All right, so the person that would actually be doing this sculpture, and it would be a bronze sculpture, size would be about 6 foot tall of the sculpture herself, and on a base, probably a limestone base to tie in with all of our signage and that type of thing, would be about 4 feet. So in total, we'd be about 10 foot high, 9 to 10 foot high. So, and then with a plaque and telling a little bit of the history and that type of thing. So this is just a little bit, and I won't go through it because in the interest of time, but you know, as I look through this, and I do abstract art myself, but when I was looking at this last night, I was like, wow, I can see why, first of all, the time for once it's approved is 1 year from delivery of the actual sculpture. And as you see these slides, you'll see why. So this is something that Sydney did with a German Shepherd, that's her. But the amount of detail, so this is just a clay model that they start. And the beauty of them being both in Peoria is, you know, we'd be able to go down and take a look at it to see the progress. And again, they would work with the Historic Society in getting all the elements that are historically accurate. And so we could go detailed as far as that goes, but that's what the artist, that's what their forte is to determine from all the information that they get what is the right way to go. So just the different molds, it gives me a great appreciation for what they do. It's not a quick process. And then, of course, you know, all the molten metal, and then welding and more, sandblasting, patina, and this is the end dog. I mean, yeah, life size. I mean, it's just pretty incredible. So, and then we go into the next, which would be also part of, you know, moving into the next 150 years, which Ruben and I have been working with as archways coming into main entry points into the village on top of, you know, of course, the signs that we already have, but in addition to. So, so this is something that we're thinking at the base of the Court Street Bridge, so on the west end, coming into this way. It would be a two-sided sign. It would be, my thoughts are, it would have basically recessed lights in at the base of the stones that would shine up into the support columns. I found an architect. The people that would do this is Corsetti Steel. They're in Joliet. They've given me kind of a ballpark price. And then the other location would be going into Our new down Egyptian Trail, Egyptian Trail off of south of Manhattan Monee Road, going into the main entry road when we build the town center. So those two locations to start. So, you know, I think this works. It ties in with the bronze, and the bronze, the kind of the gold letters tie in with our current signage. So, thoughts?
So the ballpark figures that you have,
Which one?
of both.
I don't think
So
this is
ballpark
working.
figures that you have of this
Ike.
statue and of the archway,
Right,
which is more expensive.
yes. Well, if you do two of these signs equals one sculpture.
Two of these signs is one sculpture.
Right.
Got it.
Right. And I have to say that with the sculptor that I talked to in California, her price of a sculpture at 6 feet, it's X amount per foot. And I thought, okay, she gave me a price. I thought, well, California is more expensive. It's not, because of what's involved, as you saw. They're both the same price, and that's what they threw at me.
So you have shopped around for different sculptors and different artists
have.
and such then? Okay.
Right.
And likewise with the signs, with the archways?
Archway, so far, I've just talked to Corsetti Steel and the architect who did. He designed this, if anybody's familiar, if you've gone into Mantino, I live in Mantino, with the illuminated sign. He designed that structurally. I think it's a little pretty heavy, but we don't need something that bulky. And this works best also because the one thing that you find about when you put letters back to back, when it's not lit up, it's hard to read what it says because you've got backwards letters going in front of, you know what I mean?
So we lost the idea of doing it over the bridges coming in?
Not, well, over the bridges, so my concern would be if we put one at the middle of the bridge, it's going to encourage kids to climb up on it, and it goes over a railroad track. So I think we're better safe than sorry to keep it back this way, away from it. Granted, you know, somebody, if they wanted to do something, they're going to do it anyway, but why encourage that? So I say keep it to the west before you go over, so not in the middle of the bridge itself.
I got you.
Yeah.
In height?
Well, yeah, it has to be, I think, maybe 14 feet at least. Yeah, at least, right, just in case, right. And that's why we would hire an engineer to do all of that structurally.
Can you use your mic, please?
I'm sorry.
Thank you.
There was an artisan in town who does some of this. I know probably wouldn't have that kind of capability, but somebody who's worked on the cemetery too has done fine work too. So we might be able to at least partially locally source something like this as well.
Sure, I mean, if you have a name, just shoot it my way.
I've seen oversized loads come down Court Street if you used Court Street. So of course, keep that in mind. Is that a relief of the state of Alabama on the ground there in that picture?
I think it is.
I
but
think we should change the state that we have on there.
It's only for the sign itself, but
Is there a Monee, Alabama too?
might be. Any other questions? No? Okay, thanks.
Thank you, Bill.
Thank you.
And as always, shop Monee when available. End of report, Mayor.
Thank you. Building Services, Trustee Henson.
Thank you, Mayor. 32 contractors registered or renewed their license in this month so far. Monee Liquor is open and operating after the vehicular damage on June 13th. Repair construction is to start early in July, but they are open. Pre-construction meeting was held for Petro's new 10,000 square foot truck repair facility at 5914 Monee Manhattan Road on June 22nd. Anticipated start schedule should be July 10th with a completion date somewhere around January 2024. End of report.
Can I ask trustee Henson a question? Is Terrell's open? Eat the Bone?
Yeah.
Is that open? Okay, thank you.
All right, and moving on to public safety, trustee Udris.
Thank you, Mayor. Before I start my report, I just also wanted to say, pleasant surprise coming into town the other day, seeing all the banners, the red, white, and blue banners on the bridges. So, nice touch. I really liked that. For emergency management, on June 27th, EMA assisted the Monee Police with an accident at Cleveland and Monee Manhattan Road. EMA responded with 3 traffic units. So with 6 months into the calendar year, Monee EMA is on another record-setting pace for the year, for the 5th consecutive year. So to date, EMA has had 17 calls for service, 6 details, and 46 trainings for a total of 69 total events. And just to show you what they did last year EMA had a total of 121 events that they were involved with. The summer-fall season that is coming upon us is their busiest time of the year, so hats off to them. For Monee Police Department, again, great job by all the crew winners this evening. Would like to mention a couple of our past crew members that have won, Sergeant Dan DiPaolo and Detective Evie Lazzaroni, who I think are both here tonight. Their recent efforts to locate and bring home a missing 16-year-old Monee girl are to be highly commended. Their intensive investigation efforts culminated in a trip to Pottawatomie County, Iowa, to oversee the safe return of this young lady. A big thank you and great job to both of you. End of report.
Great, thank you. Again, great job by the Monee Police Department. Greatly appreciated. I know the family appreciates it, so kudos to you guys as always. Thank you. Moving on to the attorney's report, Larry.
Thank you, Mayor. Got 4 items for the board's consideration. The first item, the board received a letter from Mr. Sutherland, I believe. He is the property owner at across the street by Egyptian Trail. He would like to buy that property if possible. And he would like to rehab it, keep it as rental income. This is the property that we have taken to court with respect to demolishing the garage. And there have been tax buyers on it. So I told Mr. Sutherland, you better talk to the tax buyer. But he wants the board's approval that if he does take this leap, that he can keep it residential and rental income. It does need a lot of work. The garage should come down hopefully next week. They're going to court tomorrow on it. So, I guess we would need board approval relative to Mr. Sutherland's request to keep that as residential if he's successful in purchasing that property.
Is this in court right now?
Yes, sir. Yeah, we filed a notice of demo. And I guess the owner passed, there's a whole line of errors, I guess, but what happened, you have tax buyers, they came in and took the property. So now that tax buyer is going to court to ask the judge for a receivership to renovate the property. They'll be in court tomorrow.
So is this something we would have to wait for?
No, sir. Because honest, we're out of it. It should be between Mr. Sutherland and I guess the daughter out in California. We're out of it. He just wants a commitment from the board that if he does pursue this, that he can keep it residential. I guess it's been residential for 50 or 60 years. In fact, there were cars in the garage that were taken out, but that garage should come down.
The roof of the garage is falling in on itself. But the question I have, it looks, and I drive by this property and walk by it quite often, it looks like it's a single occupancy. It looks like a house, but this letter says that implies that there's 2 units to it.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I'm not sure if it's single family. Right now, we're in court with respect to the garage, but I believe he wants to, there's 2 units in there. I know Romy's not here, but I believe there's 2 units.
So 2 units for the property or 2 pins?
2 units. Be one PIN number probably, but 2 units.
There's the 2 units, the house
Just
and the
a
garage.
point of order, do we need to have a motion before we really do discussion on this, or is the discussion okay before we vote on it?
Yeah, on this one, because it's not really an ordinance, just some
Okay,
approval.
just wanted to make sure.
So that being said, so if we have the letter from Mr. Sutherland, but we shouldn't be part of it yet until he pursues it, but he just wants to know if he has our support should he be successful in his endeavor.
Yes, ma'am.
But that's zoned commercial there, is that right? Is that the issue?
No.
That's not the one?
No, that's the second one.
And we have no communication from the tax buyers.
Yes, I do. Yeah. There's been 3 or 4 offers on that property.
Is their intent to do the same, keep it residential? Or knock it down and start over?
They'll flip it.
They'll flip it.
That's all they do. They buy these tax properties and they'll flip it. You know, we've had there were 3 offers made on that property already. And they'll get minimum price and they'll flip it. But Mr. Sutherland doesn't want to do that. He wants to keep it and.
And renovate it.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
Is there a motion? You know?
I mean, I'll make the motion that we, as long as we don't have any real, interest in this or, or anything, I mean, let him do what he wants to do. So I'll make the motion that
I'll second.
that we send the letter.
I'll second.
Send the letter?
Or whatever we need to
Yeah.
do,
We'll acknowledge Mr. Sutherland's request. I'll send him a quick note.
Yeah.
Any other discussion with this?
So, Counsel, I'm just curious, does he think our intent, the intent of the village is to buy the property and rezone it?
No,
Okay.
but we, pursuant to what we have to do, we had to put notice on the garage, which we did. We published it, which we did, and all of a sudden, I guess it's a fairly decent piece of property. But there's a lot of work, but I did tell him, I think it's extremely important, he contact the heirs, because the heirs are the legal owners, but the tax deed people are coming also, so we'll be out of it. But he just wants to, I think, preserve it for the area. That's my understanding. He might be here tonight, but I guess not. But he's been persistent. And I gave him the attorney's number downtown to get a hold of her
The attorney for the heir?
for the tax deed.
Tax deed.
The heirs are someplace in California, I think.
If you would, correct me if I'm wrong, but it would remain residential unless there a variance or rezoning was.
Yes, sir.
Took place, correct?
Yes, sir.
So this would hold harmless the village and it would maintain order.
Yes, sir.
basically.
And at this current time, there is no application for any type of rezoning.
No, sir.
Roll call.
Trustee Udris?
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez?
Yes.
Trustee Horn?
Yes.
Trustee Henson?
Yes.
Trustee Rakis?
Yes.
Trustee Wilson?
Yes.
Thank you, Mayor. The next item, I believe the board has in their packet a letter from Tongren Law Offices, 5543 Margaret Street. Mr. Tongren's representing the purchaser of this property. It was initially zoned way back when, R1. It changed to commercial. And what he would like to do is keep it residential. It is what they call a legal non-conforming use. And what that is, by law, it basically says a non-conforming use is a land use that's lawfully established in accordance with all zoning regulations at the time it was establishment for zoning, but is no longer allowed by use of regulations which the use is now located. In essence, what they're saying, if it was R1 before, and they had it R1, he or she can keep it R1, even though zoning was changed. Now, you could draft ordinances saying, if it's discontinued use for 1 year, or some villages, I noticed that they will put in there if it's transferred. Because what people want to do is change the zoning sometimes. But in my opinion, it's a legal non-conforming use. Mr. Tongren wrote a good letter. I know they talked to Romy. I think the letter is sufficient, and I believe, in my opinion, it is a legal non-conforming use. It's similar to what we've done when these individuals come in that, when they have lender, and they'll say, okay, if it burns down, it's zone C1, can I keep it C1? It's
With
very
the same
similar.
exact letter that we did
Yes.
2 months ago,
Absolutely.
basically.
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
ma'am.
we've been doing a lot of these lately.
Pardon me?
We've been doing a lot of
Yes.
these lately.
So there would there be, in the idea of an ordinance, would that automatically grandfather into what it was zoned last? Okay.
Yes, because if someone's there for 50 years, you just can't arbitrarily say, because you're hurting his or her value of the property. So, yeah, you can't grandfather it. Oh, is that Mr. Owens? Oh, Mr. Passetti? You have any questions from us? Okay. Who's buying it, your daughter or your?
No, we have my daughter.
Can you come to the mic, please? I'm sorry. Thank you.
Well, I sold it to my daughter 8 years ago, and she's now disabled, and she's going to move in with me, and she wants to sell a house, and someone wants to buy it. They have the money, they want to fix it up and take care of it.
Okay.
They really liked it, so that's kind of the story.
I'll make that motion.
We have a first and a second on this one.
Did we already?
Oh, I'm looking at the first one. Go ahead.
I'm asleep.
So at first, Henson.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Trustee Gonzalez.
Yes.
Trustee Horn.
Yes.
Trustee Henson.
Yes.
Trustee Rakis.
Yes.
Trustee Wilson.
Yes.
Trustee Udris.
Yes.
Okay. Should I bring this up? Thank you. The third item is for information purposes. Myself, Mr. Batista, and I believe Bill will be meeting with Mr. Leader tomorrow. He's the one who bought the BC development site. And it appears as though he's run into some issues that he wasn't expecting. That's in a TIF. He will be asking the board for some TIF assistance. The TIF's running pretty quickly, though, so he'll have to move on it fairly quickly. But BC's no longer, their note's paid off in full. This gentleman bought it, and, you know, he ran into some issues that he was not expecting, big issues. So he's going to be coming to the board and probably sometime next board meeting, July 14th. Pardon me?
Did he give you a hint on what the issues are?
Excavation, streets and curbs. It's the same thing that was entered into a long time ago between the adjoining property owners, the floodplain over there. That was, remember, we got sued on that from BC Development. And they dropped the lawsuit because they sold the building. But I just think he's going to be asking the board, I know he'll be asking the board for assistance. So that's just for information. Thank you, Mayor. And the last item, we would need a motion authorizing the mayor to execute an agreement, IGA agreement for the placement of plate reading cameras on county highways. This is standard procedure. We're going to put, I believe, 8 or 9 cameras on areas that involve county highways. So the county's agreeable to that as long as we agree to maintain it, hold them harmless. Maintenance, it's normal. So you would need a motion authorizing the mayor to execute the IGA on behalf of the village of Monee.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Trustee Horn.
Yes.
Trustee Henson.
Yes.
Trustee Rakis.
Yes.
Trustee Wilson.
Yes.
Trustee Udris.
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez.
Yes.
That's all I have, Mayor.
All right, thank you. Unfinished business, discussion/approval, re the police golf outing sponsorship donation. Go ahead, Scott.
Yeah, so I had a couple of conversations with some people about this, and, excuse me. just kind of throw it out there. What I would like to do, I think that the sponsorship for a whole is $100. And I would like to, I think that that's something that we could do. I have checked with our administrator, just to make sure too that the funds to sponsor a whole like this would not be coming out of taxpayer funds, but actually would be coming out of the gaming funds that we collect through like the slot machines and all that. So I think it's a great way to show support to our police department and, a great way to show support for Special Olympics. So that's what I'd like to put out there as $100.
I'll second that.
I concur.
All right.
I'm going to take a contrarian view. It is a little amount. It's almost negligible, but I don't think it's the place of us to use public funds for an event like this. What I would encourage is trustees who are interested, and full disclosure, I plan on doing this anyways. The paperwork's on my desk, is you want to support the police golf outing, and I do. I would golf it, except that I've got another event that day. But buy a sponsorship for it, or buy a sponsorship for the holes. He's saying use public money. I'm saying use private money.
Yeah, no, Doug's suggestion is each of us, pitch in some money out of our pockets versus using something out of the budget for the village to pay for the whole.
Thank you for explaining that.
Yeah. Translator, yes. How about we match?
I mean, it's $100. It's
Right.
not going to break the bank.
Right.
So Doug, what are you saying? You're saying that the village shouldn't be paying for any 501c3 stuff? Is that what you're trying to get at?
Exactly.
Okay. That's going to come up later.
We've got two motions, right?
We do have a first and a second.
All right. Roll call.
Trustee Henson.
Yes.
Trustee Rakes.
Yes.
Trustee Wilson.
Yes.
Trustee Udris.
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez.
Yes.
Trustee Horn.
No.
Okay, anybody have any new business? Open to the public, non-agenda items? Okay, next on the list is executive session. Items number 1, 5 ILCS 120/2C1, appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of a specific employee. Item number 2, 5 ILCS 120/2C5, the purchase or lease of real property for the use of the public body, including meetings held for the purpose of discussing whether a particular parcel should be acquired, with the following PIN numbers: 211421311005. 0000 and 211421311007. If I can please have a motion to go into executive session.
Make that motion, Mayor.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Rakes.
Yes.
Trustee Wilson. Trustee Udris.
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez.
Yes.
Trustee Horn.
Yes.
Trustee Henson.
Yes.
8:36 p.m.
All right, can I please have a motion to reopen regular session?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Gonzalez.
Yes.
Trustee Henson.
Yes.
Trustee Horn.
Yes.
Trustee Rakes.
Yes.
Trustee Wilson.
Yes.
Trustee Udris.
Yes.
Thank you. Possible action to be taken after executive session. Item number 1, possible approval to proceed. May I please have a motion to appoint Jill Donati as interim deputy superintendent of the Department of Public Works at a salary of $70,000?
Make that motion.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Horn.
Yes.
Trustee Henson.
Yes.
Trustee Rakes.
Yes.
Trustee Wilson.
Yes.
Trustee Udris.
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez.
Yes.
Item number 2, possible approval to proceed with the purchase or lease of real property. May I please have a motion to have our attorney move forward to draft a contract to purchase, subject to inspection and appraisal of the property in item number 2 under executive session.
Make that motion.
Second.
Roll
Pin
call,
number.
please.
Trustee Horn.
Yes.
Trustee Henson.
Yes.
Trustee Rakis.
Yes.
Trustee Wilson.
Yes.
Trustee Udris.
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez.
Yes.
You have the PIN number.
The PIN number's there.
Yeah, no.
No.
No, it's just the PIN number, so just read the PIN number.
2114213110050000 and 2114213110070000.
Okay.
May I please have a motion to adjourn?
Make that motion.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Horn.
Yes.
Trustee Henson.
Yes.
Trustee Rakis.
Yes.
Trustee Wilson.
Yes.
Trustee Udris.
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez.
Yes.
Thank you.
9:56 PM.